Hi. Shooter games, especially the AAA ones, have kind of been in the dumpster recently. Until we get to see if Battlefield 6 implodes on itself or not, I thought I'd take you back to a shooter that came out 8 years ago, Rising Storm 2 Vietnam. It's a napalm slinging, GI killing, and VC grilling wonderland that has kept me occupied for the past 7 years, and I've loved every second of it. I think I'm gonna take the helmet off. I feel better. Oh. I think what really makes this one stand apart from the competition is the asymmetric gameplay at its core. Rising Storm toes the line between a fast-paced arcade shooter and a more hardcore shooter like Arma. It does it in its own way though. While other mainstream games like Call of Duty and Battlefield allow you free reign with your weapon choices, Rising Storm 2 limits to what is accurate for your faction. And if you don't really like your choices, you could just use your 5-finger discount on any body or weapon pickup around the map. By the way, I personally recommend the shotguns. These things are better snipers than you'd expect. I think my personal best is a 187 meter headshot. It's not just the weapons though. How you spawn is even different per faction, with South Vietnamese forces being able to spawn directly on their squad leader, and with North Vietnamese forces forced to make a tunnel which you can place around the map. I've been talking about the factions a lot, so let's dive a little more in depth with that. Factions in other shooters can kinda seem like a new coat of paint instead of a new way to play, but Rising Storm solves that issue beautifully. The first thing you'll notice, of course, is the weaponry. The United States has the M16, while Australia has that and their own domestic weapons like the FAL, while Arvin mostly relies on old World War II surplus weapons. It's the same thing for the North Vietnamese, as the People's Army has access to more modern Soviet bloc weapons, while the Viet Cong are stuck to Chinese knockoffs and captured American equipment. The stuff your team leader can call in is even different per faction, with some factions allowing for a napalm strike from a jet, while others have bombing runs or mortar strikes. The amount of varied and historical equipment that you can choose from allows you to play any class in multiple different playstyles. But what matters most is how you look doing it. Each faction even has its own unique customization options too. While other games suffer from an identity crisis, forcing you to spend $90 to unlock the Ninja Turtles, all the cosmetics in Rising Storm are grounded in the historical setting it's trying to portray. Yet, there is still so much freedom you can use to express yourself in game. If you want to rock some purple tinted John Lennon glasses, you can do that. Or you can cover up your outline by using camo and a booty hat. The Viet Cong have the same level of customization, allowing you to wear all black or camo at night, or just rock some booty shorts and a cob pipe. The choice is really yours. The paid DLC, unlike most games, doesn't stray away from the accuracy. All of them just allow you to unlock more historical items, or just allow you to skip the grind and unlock some of them early. But to get the coveted non-lot, you need to reach max level 99. a feat I have yet to do myself after all this time. If you're up for the grind, that's not all you have to look forward to. If you're anything like me, you probably have an insatiable desire to unlock as many achievements as possible. And Rising Storm probably has some of my favorite on Steam. It has ones that show your progression in-game, like getting 50, 250, and then 500 kills with a machine gun, for example. But that's just not what I'm here for. I want the silly, I want the wacky, I want the goofy, and this game has a lot of those achievements. How about a real hot behind after getting a kill with the backblast of your RPG? And it belongs in a museum after getting 10 kills with the Mosin. There's even more references to history, music, memes, movies, and it just really shows how much love and effort they put into the game. Games that come out nowadays never really have achievements this creative anymore, and it's very disappointing. From my outfit, you might have gathered that I'm a bit of a history nerd, but the maps in Rising Storm have a lot of history themselves. There's propaganda, graffiti, and iconic landmarks, as most of the maps in the game are interpretations of real locations. However, you don't need to be a nerd to appreciate these battlefields, as they have something for everybody. If you like urban warfare and verticality, there's Hue City and Saigon. Want some jungles? There's Dong Ha, Mekong, and Apache Snow. Maybe you just want a cool set piece, which you can get with Resort, Hill 937, and Da Nang Air Base. Sometimes, these maps even come with helicopters, transport, and attack variants, as well as weapon emplacements and pickups, really changing how each map is played between each other. Sometimes, a guy doesn't want to be in the NOM anymore, and I get it. So I raise being a little green army man. Yeah, for some reason, these beautiful devs added an overhaul of the game where you can play as toy soldiers in a sandbox, in a pool party, at Christmas, or in a Thanksgiving dinner. It's free to all players, but you're locked to the basic rifleman class unless you buy the expansion. I honestly wouldn't buy it unless it's on sale, as the server really likes to get populated and then go dark for weeks, but it is probably one of my favorite ways to play Rising Storm 2. Even for being 8 years old, this game is still getting consistent mod support. There's over 250 maps on the workshop to choose from, and a few game overhauls as well. My favorite of these custom maps has to be Hose Deep, a very creative and faithful recreation of Helm's Deep from Lord of the Rings. On the overhaul side of things, I've seen projects like GOM, which make the game a more complete Vietnam experience, adding factions like South Korea, Mac v SOG, and the Path at Lao. Another one in the works is Black Orchestra, and it brings the game to pre- and post-World War II conflicts, and it looks very promising. While the big studios are still tripping over themselves, with Black Ops 7 being the most recent example, Rising Storm shows that authenticity, humor, and a clear vision can beat out any billion-dollar production. If you ever needed a game to fill that Vietnam-shaped hole in your heart, or just looking for a change of pace, this is definitely the game for you. Especially since it only goes on sale for a couple bucks if you can catch it at the right time. This game is actually the reason I switched over to PC, so you can kind of blame it for being able to look at my face right now. And who knows, maybe you too will like the 365 in a wake up. Have a good one.